Hey guys, welcome back to the Hez Project. I'm John Ordolaza, and today HBO Max has presented us the world with Zack Snyder's Justice League. His 4-hour director's cut has arrived. It's here. I just spent the last 4 hours watching it. Man, I have not watched a movie this long since pretty much Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, I think, are the only movies I've ever watched this long. This is a spoiler-free review, so if you have not seen Zack Snyder's Justice League, feel free to stick around this video. I will not give away anything. I will have a separate video dedicated to spoilers, all the fan theories, and the potential continuation of this universe, because let me just say I'm a little on board now. Let's just say that. But okay, all right. Let's get into it. Guys. Spoiler free. I've gone over this story and a bunch of other people have in more detail. Zack Snyder is the original director of the 2017 film Justice League. It was originally going to be 4 hours. He shot these 4 hours that we are seeing right now, but the studio had a mandate of having this film chopped down to 2 hours because they saw the box office numbers and the audience reactions, all the fans. There was a big portion of people that were being turned off by Zack Snyder's vision through Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. Now, I've said my piece on both of those films and the original Justice League from 4 years ago. Pretty much this is everything that Zack Snyder has thought about for his vision for this film come to life, and I think it was incredible. This is honestly the best Zack Snyder has been in a long time. Something about this film and just the craft that Zack Snyder put into it, all the time and the effort that you see just bleeding out of all 4 of these hours. It's just incredible. I know I've expressed some concern about this movie being 4 hours, and I've expressed some frustration with Batman v Superman's runtime and Watchmen's runtime, to be specific. Those 2 movies, I feel, overstay their welcome just a little bit. So that was my mindset going into this movie, that these 2 Zack Snyder films just are too long for their own good. I just really hope that Zack Snyder's Justice League hits it home, deserves to be 4 hours long. What really flew over my head during this thought process was The Lord of the Rings. Now, I'm not saying his movie is as good as The Lord of the Rings or better than Lord of the Rings. I'm just making a comparison. What Peter Jackson did with the Lord of the Rings films, all 3 of them, he gave each and every character in those stories something to do, something extensive, not just condensing down the story of all 3 books into 2-hour films so it'd be easier for families to go see in the theaters. He wasn't afraid to go the distance and to make a film, to make an epic, because that's what those films are. And that's what Zack Snyder's Justice League is. It is an epic. I don't know why we all haven't been asking for an epic like Lord of the Rings, but with Marvel and DC. We did kind of get it with Infinity War and Endgame. However, that served kind of like a conclusion chapter to the overarching 11-year journey that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that was a little different. That deserved it. That was well deserved. However, here, Zack Snyder, this is his 3rd movie in this DC cinematic universe or extended universe, whatever the hell you want to call it. This is his 3rd movie, and it was 4 hours long. My mind was conditioned to think, oh, they have to do what Marvel's doing. Not beat for beat, but setup-wise. You know, give each character their solo films, then the team-up movie. It just made sense to me. Marvel's concept made sense. But it's clear to me that Zack Snyder is not the man to do that. He wants to do his own thing. He has his own vision, his own path. There is just so much to have with it. There's so much context that maybe not all of us even asked for, like the die-hard Zack Snyder fans who love his vision and saw the spark that was in Man of Steel and Batman v Superman and saw where he was going, where he wanted to go. They obviously wanted this. They wanted all of the context they could get. I didn't ask for all this context, but it was laid out for me on a silver platter. So I took it, I viewed it, and I loved it. Characters like Cyborg, played by Ray Fisher, Ezra Miller's Flash, Aquaman by Jason Momoa, these guys, didn't get much to do in the 2017 version. Joss Whedon really just hammered home that, oh, this is just generic baddie. He needs these boxes that do things. And yeah, he just wants to take over. Like, it was just so bland, the way they set up that villain and everyone's motives to take on this villain. But in here, Zack Snyder has given everybody purpose. You may not 100% agree with Steppenwolf, but he has purpose, more purpose, rather than just a throwaway line, "For you, Darkseid." No, no sir, nah, no, he owes a debt to Darkseid, and Darkseid makes his presence felt in this movie. He doesn't necessarily throw down in this film, but he serves as this overarching villain, this higher power similar to that of Thanos in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I was pleasantly surprised to feel that myself. Like, Thanos was set up since 2012 and then made his way into a film, to a proper film as the proper villain 6 years later. This is the first time we're really seeing Darkseid, and I felt the same way about Thanos that I did with Darkseid, and that is an accomplishment, and I gotta give Zack all the praise because I just didn't think he could do it. This is his third film in the universe, and I'm thinking, yo, sixth film down, Justice League, after everyone's got their solo movie. Then you tease some Darkseid. You tease him a little bit. They teased him a lot of bit in here. I recall Zack Snyder saying once in an interview or somewhere, Ray Fisher's Cyborg is the heart or soul of this film. And you can kind of see that. Yeah, you can see there's so much of his backstory. Basically, this is an origin story hidden in a Justice League film, an origin story for Cyborg within a Justice League film. You see how he became this cybernetic thing, and you see where he came from, his family life. It is pretty touching, let me say that. It's not as heart-wrenching as Zack Snyder made it out to be. What really tugged at my heartstrings is just that we got to see these superheroes do superhero shit, man. That was the coolest thing in this film, is to see the Justice League, not the Justice League. We got to see the Justice League, and I was just grinning so big during that third hour, I guess. I was gonna say third act, but it's not really a thing in here. The Justice League was the first superhero team that I was introduced to as a kid, and I always just loved their look, I loved their presence, and there was no better person to convey and film their presence other than Zack Snyder himself. I need to talk about the score composed by Junkie XL for this film. It is criminal that this was removed from the 2017 version. Like, that was such a petty thing in my opinion. Like, why would you remove the score of the film? That sucked so bad. If that was a studio thing, screw them. If that was a Joss thing, screw him too. Because this blows whatever half-assed Danny Elfman score that he composed. And I know that's a bit of a knock because he didn't have enough time, so he did the best that he could, because I'm sure Danny Elfman could have composed a really dope score. I have no doubt that he could have. But Junkie XL's was incredible. One of my favorite things in this score in particular is when it takes notes from other scores, from other films, and weaves it into their new score. Junkie XL utilizes the Hans Zimmer score from Man of Steel in so many ways. It's beautiful. It's freaking phenomenal. We get a more refined Dark Knight theme from Batman v Superman, and the Wonder Woman theme that I thought was a little off-putting at first. In here, it was just much more refined, I thought. It was so epic. They had the female chorus singing in the background. It was it was beautiful, dude. I loved it. It wasn't overdone, I thought. I thought it was just perfect. A perfect balance of guitar, drum, epic orchestra music. It was incredible. I'm gonna try to say this part without spoiling anything, but music, score in these types of films is so important because it can take scenes that may not have been as epic without the music, or maybe scenes that you've seen before. For instance, over an hour of this film is from the 2017 version. Joss Whedon didn't just reshoot the whole thing, he just reshot about 30 minutes or so, 30, 40, almost an hour, I think. But dude, when those scenes from the 2017 version hit, you're like, oh, I've seen this before. Wait a second. Wait, what is that? It's Junkie XL's dope-ass score overriding the save that Joss Whedon and Danny Elfman made. And it's words cannot begin to describe the emotion and the tingles that went through my entire body watching these scenes that, yes, I have seen before, but it just felt reinvigorated. It felt like it came to life with the incredible score by Junkie XL that no one should sleep on. Absolutely no one. I want to find this soundtrack. I want to listen to it all because it's incredible. Characters in Justice League 2017 that didn't get to do anything prominent and were kind of sidelined. If you felt that anyone was sidelined, trust me, everybody has a purpose. Everybody does something. And even the side characters, like not everybody is incredibly important, of course. Things could have been cut out. Everybody in this film does a phenomenal job. Ben Affleck, once again, incredible performance. I loved him in Batman v Superman. He's probably the best thing coming out of that film. And he just carries the weight of Superman's death in that film is on him in this one. That's his whole purpose behind bringing this team together of the metahumans of Aquaman and Flash and Cyborg and siding with Wonder Woman. Bruce's purpose in this film has been more fleshed out than the 2017 version. Like, it literally opens up with him chasing a parademon and he's like, oh, they're around. Like, they're already around? All right. Wonder Woman, played by Gal Gadot, is phenomenal as always. She has her fight sequence in the beginning of the film, just like she did in the 2017 version. However, it is a little more CG heavy. That's because Zack Snyder's style lends itself more to CGI. But dude, it just looked incredible. Every time she slapped somebody, they'd fly across the room. It's comic bookisms come to life, but it's not overdone. It's not cheesy. It's done right. Like I alluded to, Cyborg isn't necessarily the heart of the film for me. I still think Ray Fisher did a really good job in the role. Ezra Miller is pretty decent. He's still a little quirky and just awkward. You know, it's not funnier or worse. It's kind of just like in the middle and more of it because it's 4 hours long. And Aquaman, of course, he's still pretty dope as always. Jason Momoa really carries himself as Aquaman and makes that joke of a character something more. All I know is if this was the film that came after Batman v Superman, it would have won me over. We've never gotten anything like this in the history of film, at least not to this magnitude. We've gotten the alternate versions to the Superman 2 film with directed by Richard Donner, Alien or Aliens, I honestly don't really know. And yeah, we've never really gotten something so alternative. This is almost an entirely new, different movie weaved into that soulless film that came out in 2017. In the midst of that final battle, which we saw in that 2017 version, just obviously redone in this one, seeing Batman, seeing Wonder Woman, seeing Black Suit Superman, seeing Aquaman and Cyborg all teaming up, doing their part, playing a significant role in this crisis, it made me emotional. And I hadn't felt this way about a comic book film in a very long time. I loved it. I loved having that feeling. I know I'm getting a little teary-eyed here, but let me know down below, what did you think of my review for Zack Snyder's Justice League, the 4-hour director's cut? I'm gonna be rewatching this tonight so that I can film my spoiler-filled review tomorrow. That way we can get all of the emotional film talk out of the way and just stick to straight, nerdy spoilers, because yes, a lot of the 2017 version is in here. There isn't many surprises that happen there, but in here, Joss Whedon cut some stuff out that we need to talk about. Could potentially lead to possible future installments. Possibly. I don't know if Warner Brothers is down for that, but hopefully I'm on board with the Restore the Snyderverse because, you know, there's such things as multiverse in the comic books. and you can just do it. Marvel's gonna do it. Just do it. Let Zack do his thing, and you can do your own thing. You could copy Marvel over there. Let Zack do his thing there. It's simple. Anyways, I'm done. I've gone on way too long. Let me know down below, what did you think of my review? Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and stick around because I'm going to be reviewing The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Episode 1 drops tomorrow on Disney+. So you might want to stick around, guys, because there's always more to come.